Show with the Fantasy Footballers.
I see what you did there.
Tied it in like a professional.
I feel like people need to come back and re-listen to them, like it's the Easter egg at the beginning.
That's the sound that I made during my injury.
Ouchie.
Ouchie!
Welcome to the show. After the show, Andy, Mike, and Jason, the Fantasy Footballers, back again here on YouTube, exclusive to YouTube. The show after the show. Just got done with an early tight ends episode. We encourage you to go subscribe to our channel, listen to that. A lot of good information about some tight ends, some tight end sleepers. But this is not about tight ends anymore. We're talking about childhood injuries, all right? We're going to bring up some stories from the past, the very distant past. I promised an underpants story. So I have an underpants-related injury.
Sounds like you need to go last.
Which seems, I'll go last. So tell me a story. Did you guys ever have any injury as a child that just burned into your mind?
Oh, yes.
Something that sent the parents frightened,
have,
scared them?
On my right elbow, I have a very large scar. But so this occurred on growing up.
Okay, good.
I tried to do the athletic things, and it became very in vogue, very cool when rollerblades come out. I'm sure you guys remember this.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone had to get the rollerblades. Well, I could move. I could turn.
You couldn't stop, could you?
The stopping thing was a bit of a difficulty. And in Arizona, we have these canals, right? It's basically a giant wash for if flash flooding occurs here, if it rains at all, everything just floods. But generally it doesn't rain, so you have these giant canals, and there's playgrounds inside of them, and running trails and biking trails. Well, my cousin and I decided we were going to rollerblade from his house to my house. That meant you had to go through the canals because it was the safest way, stay off the major streets. But
they said.
But it's a canal, which means it's down.
Yes.
It's probably 20 feet down or so. And there is a pretty steep curve.
I remember.
Like a half pipe.
Yeah. It's not like a half pipe, but I mean, I would say it's like a 45-degree angle, so you can get some serious speed on this. I don't know where I'm going. My cousin's leading the way. I have lost track of him.
Your cousin is Lucio.
Yes, he turned on the speed boost, and I was not inside the radius, so I did not catch the draft speed. So I go to this hill, and I'm like, where did he go? I'm like, well, whatever. Let's hit this hill. I'm like, I'm gonna get top speed. It's gonna be awesome. I start down the hill. There's a couple paths where you could have turned off the hill. I pass by the first path. I turn my head. There's my cousin.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, this is not good. And at this point, I have received time powers where everything has crawled to a halt. I am moving like Quicksilver from the Avengers movies, where every sense is firing. I can see exactly what's happening. I turn to look in front of me. It's gravel. The hill is covered in gravel. My cousin yells, "You're gonna fall." I yell back, "I know." I hit the gravel going absolute top speed on the rollerblades.
You had resigned yourself to your demise.
So I knew it was coming, which made it even worse. I get airborne. I fly in the air, land on the blacktop. Everything is cut up. My elbow, my hips, my hands.
You still got to go home.
And then I have to rollerblade over a mile after that, including more major hills and dips, and it was awful.
How much rollerblading did you do after that?
I got back on.
Did you get back on?
I got back on, and there were several more falls after that.
Delightful.
Well, there you go.
Jason.
Yeah, I had a hard time at first with this because I was thinking sports, I grew up playing sports injuries. And I'm like, I remember running into like the basketball pole after a layup.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over. But then I was like, okay, no, this is just like injuries. And my big sister came to mind because I have a scar here from when we kind of got pushed down the stairs. I don't have a scar from when she stabbed me in the back with an ice pick. Wait, that is a true story. We were unloading dishes, and I was doing something she didn't like, and
she stabbed you in the back.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like 3 inches deep. It was just like but I was,
This was a poke.
But no, those don't get it. Those don't get the job done.
All right.
in the summer, we had a trampoline, and we did this thing called water tramp, which we loved. We had the hose, and you put the little, the sprayer that goes up.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You put it underneath
You
the
put it
trampoline?
underneath,
Yeah.
and it's a blast because it's 700 degrees outside. Skin is melting, and then that comes up, and you can actually touch the black of the trampoline without scarring immediately. And so we're out there, and we're on the trampoline, and Karen's like, "Hey, let's do water tramp. Go put the thing under." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to go under the trampoline. You're gonna jump." And she's like, "No, I won't jump." And so I'm like, "All right." I go, I get it, and I crawl under. And she thinks it would be funny to scare me, right? Because obviously a trampoline goes down.
Yeah.
And so I'm crawling under, and she thinks, oh, she'll just come down and like, boo. Instead, what happened was she jumped on my head while I was under the trampoline. And apparently my mouth had been open, which closed my mouth on my tongue.
Oh, no.
And I'm telling you guys, a chunk of my tongue came off. And you have no idea. You guys cannot know how much the human tongue bleeds. I'm telling you, it was, I think if I got shot in the face, there would have been less blood. It was just for hours,
My son bit his tongue the other day, and it wasn't like the worst bite in the world, and he was spitting out mouthful after mouthful of blood.
It was
So what was the reaction of the sister from all
Whoops.
the
Whoopsie.
it was not whoopsie.
Let me get that ice pick.
No.
You owed her an ice pick after that.
Her reaction was, don't tell mom, don't tell mom.
Yeah.
If you go to the parents with the gushing mouth of blood, then it's own.
All right.
right, here
Well,
we
you
go.
sold your sister out, so what comes to mind real quick?
Love my
Mouse.
sister. Love you, Karen.
The not underpants story is when I broke my foot as a kindergartner. I was on the top bunk, and I swear to this day that my father turned to me and put his arms out like this and was encouraging a jump. And I jumped, and I went straight through the arms, never touched him, broke the foot. My mother has never let him live that down. So that was traumatic because I had to get my foot cast and everything like that.
Foot cast.
Right. So the underpants story,
This is what we all came for.
I hopefully I'm not overselling this, but look, I went to school, same school as Jason, grade school. They were building these portable buildings for more classrooms, and they did this on the side. They had extra land, and they're building these portables, and somehow, some way, we're playing in the dirt. Like, this is a PE activity. It's the end of physical education class.
As we do in Arizona, we play in the dirt a lot.
And we're just running around these hills on the dirt, and I'm like first grade or something like that. So out of nowhere, we're just all running around playing. Out of nowhere, a kid had apparently hurled a giant rock. Like, we're playing on the dirt, we're picking up rocks apparently. Some kid fired a rock, and this rock hit me right on the bridge of the nose, right next to the eye. And so at this point, it exploded, right? Like, there is just blood pouring out of my head. Nobody knows where this rock came from. And for some reason, the only thing I remember is that the PE teacher, he's running up to me. He sees I'm bleeding profusely from my head. And off on the corner of this dirt pile is an old pair of underwear that someone has just left there.
What?
Wait, what
I'm
school?
not-
What kind of school did you go to?
Look, the facts are the facts, Jack. I didn't make the rules here. I would have loved for it to have been a freshly laundered towel, to be honest with you. But my PE teacher, he had no other choice but to beckon another child to run over to the dirty underwear that were on this pile and then mop my face up with the dirty underwear. So I had to then go to the nurse office. And
I think that's what they do at the hospital too, right?
Yeah, they grab the old underwear and they put it on your face, right on your eye.
Is your PE teacher aware of how germs and
I
bacteria
don't know.
spreads?
Look, when a child is
Bacteria is
bleeding,
good for a wound.
I mean, that's
so
a
to
classic.
me, I always like it was embarrassing to
Sure.
Men
be
or
hit in the
women's
face.
underpants?
It was women's.
All right.
I'm
as
glad
a
you
first
asked the
grader-
question because I didn't say it.
Yeah.
and then you were thus
But then
forced panty face.
yes, thus forth I was panty face McGee.
Thus forth.
Thus forth. So that was my horrible injury story, and I did not have to get it stitched up. I had a big old bandage on my face for half a semester. But I'll always remember the panties from the story because I had to have my face mopped up with underwear, and I was traumatized by it, and it was a disaster. So that is That is it from the show after the show. If you have a story, well,
Yeah,
share your
gotta
story
go.
with us. And I'll always be traumatized by it from here on out. So I can't push the button to close out the show. Our stories went so long that
It's all right. This gives us a chance to tell you, if you're watching,
Yeah.
you got to hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on as well, so that when we post, you know that there's another entertaining video. That give you enough time?
Thanks for listening to the show.
Sure did.
Oh.
So that's it. Take care.
We're doing
Goodbye.
it live.
The story's been so long.
Check out jointhefoot.com. The Footcast is coming up later today. Goodbye.
Goodbye.